4 people are dead sometime in the early morning, and yet the public story does not begin until almost noon. The 8 hours are the scene. More specifically, the 8 hours everybody treats like nothing. Everybody explains those hours psychologically. It's shock, fear, confusion, kids being kids. Nobody knowing what they had just experienced, and then everybody moves on from it. The 8 hours are not the gap in the story. The 8 hours are part of the story. 11:56 is when the public story is finally allowed to begin.
5 a.m. 42 second, November 13, 2022. 911 location of your emergency. What is the address of the emergency? What is the rest of the address? Okay. And is that a house or an apartment? It's a house. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? I'll talk to you guys. She was the white shower next to them. I need someone to repeat the address for verification. The address, 1122 King Road. And what's the phone number that you're calling from? So 3731. So tell me exactly what's going on. One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night. It's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house outside. Yeah, it's just. Hi, and are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop tapping it around. Can I just tell you what happened pretty much? What is going on currently? Is someone tapped out right now? I don't really know, but pretty much beforehand. Okay, so I need to know what's going on right now if someone is tapped out. Can you find that out? No, come on, but we gotta go check. No, we have to. Okay. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way. Okay, and how old is she? She's 20. 20, you said? Yes, she does 20 as well. Hello? Hello? Okay, I need someone to stop tossing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Hey, sorry, they didn't give me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
That's me. Alright. Lauren, you didn't talk to them, say. I can't talk to them, they need you to talk to them.
Hello? Okay. I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Say that again? Yes. I have the police here right now. Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. You need to look at me. You don't have to. So do you have a defibrillator? Yes, you have one. Are you talking to the officer? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let you go so she's there with you and can help you. Okay, thank you. Fine. Okay. 11:59.
Police arrive, the crime scene begins, and I think that that's the biggest error. because it assumes that the public clock and the real clock are the same clock. I don't think that they are. I think that this house, this crime, has two clocks. And I'm going to call them for this episode Lane A and Lane B. Lane A is whatever actually happens in the darkness, the ugly version, the version that produces the 4 dead bodies. Lane B needs a civilian discovery, an actual 911 call that sounds normal, and it needs patrol officers responding to what they believe is a normal call. Most importantly, Lane B needs the first official sentence to sound ordinary. And what is that sentence? It's not 4 people have been stabbed to death. It's essentially she's unconscious, she was drunk last night, she's not waking up. That's the doorway into the public case. Think about how different those two openings are. If a recorded call at 4:20 in the morning says, there are 4 dead college students inside 1122 King Road, you have an immediate homicide perimeter. Immediate radio traffic, a bunch of supervisors and cameras everywhere. There'd be immediate crime scene preservation, immediate questions about who knew what when. You got a giant timestamp across the beginning of everything. But if the official event begins around noon as an unconscious person, now patrol walks into the house as though the house has just been discovered. It's the same bodies, it's just a different first sentence. And I want to show you how we can see Lane A and Lane B starting to take its place. So the first thing is this. Officer Nunez shows up and he's going to walk over to the people that are standing outside the house. And I want you to listen to what's said. Again, this is well known, but it's important for this part.
Where's she at? Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
She's at Yes.
So Dylan right there says, do you have a defibrillator? Because remember, the person on the phone had told the 911 call operator that this was for an unconscious person. Officer Nunez is walking in with a defibrillator. Whether he knows beforehand or not, ultimately that's what we're seeing. So the 911 call unconscious person lines up right away with the first sentence that's out of Dylan's mouth. And that is, do you have a defibrillator? But watch the immediate shift that happens by the time Hunter Johnson talks with Officer Nunez at the top of the steps.
Where at? Up here? Up here, up here. You got a call from them that someone, wasn't normal. And I just came checking here, and this is right this one. And I checked to see if she's breathing, if she's... And I didn't check her yet, but I'm pretty 13. Okay, get back. I don't know if they're still in here or not. Really, just in here. I grabbed them. They're like 1370.
First sentence on 911 call, unconscious person. First sentence of Dylan's interaction with Officer Nunez, unconscious person, and the defibrillator is right there. By the time that Officer Nunez gets the Hunter Johnson in the doorway, Hunter Johnson knows that when they reach the top of the stairs and they go down the hallway into Xana's room, the unconscious person and the defibrillator goes out the window, and Hunter says this himself as he had already checked Xana to see if she was breathing and then grabbed a knife because he didn't know if they were still in here. So when I talk about Lane A and Lane B, we're almost seeing how it's blurry at this point. How does that get mistaken, and how is there 8 hours? If Hunter's apparently the person that went up there and saw it and then told them to call 911, it still makes no sense, really, I don't think it does, that he would say, call them, just tell them that Xana's drunk and passed out on the floor. No. And it changes extremely quickly again, because now I want you to watch Dylan's reaction. Dylan is the person that says to Nunez, do you have a defibrillator? Within just a few minutes, I want you to watch how Dylan's behavior dramatically changes in this scene here.
In the main room.
This is one of the...
pretty much they were in the main room. I heard them dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room and she ran downstairs. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And then I saw the guy. I just walked the door and I ran downstairs. We don't know what's going on.
Can you come here with me, please?
So that was at 12:10. This is at noon.
Where's she at? Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
She's at confident. Yes. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room and she ran downstairs. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And then I saw the guy. I just walked the door and then I ran downstairs. We don't know what's going on.
And that's why I'm starting to believe that lane A and lane B, it was needed for the 911 call, because publicly that story is officially kicking off. And what happened in the news? Everybody ran with, there was somebody that was drunk and passed out, or their roommates thought they were, and then when the cops showed up, there was 4 people dead. Now, I don't know if they messed that up or what, because it almost made things a little bit more sketchy to some people. However, within 10 minutes, Dylan's reaction is nothing like her calmly asking if Nunez has a defibrillator. What Hunter Johnson says is nothing relevant to asking if there's a defibrillator. And so that's why I believe we are seeing lane A and lane B take shape right now. Lane A is whatever actually happened, and it's the ugly version. And lane B is the version that has a civilian discovery and a normal 911 call. And it needed the first sentence to be anything but 4 people have been stabbed to death. So Dylan showed us almost 2 versions right away. She's initially saying, do you have a defibrillator? And then 10 minutes later, she's crying and saying that Kaylee and Murphy were dancing, and then Kaylee screamed and ran downstairs, said that there's somebody in the house. It's not even about Xana, who they had said was drunk and passed out.
No, I heard you talking about last night.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to, the more we know right now, the better. We start this process.
Yeah.
Somebody will probably be revisiting this interview with you very soon. Again, okay? So just, you're probably...
Doesn't that interaction seem strange from both parties? I'm going to play that one more time.
No, I heard you talking about last night.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to, the more we know right now, the better. We start this process. Yeah. Somebody will probably be revisiting this interview with you very soon. Again, okay? So just...
It's almost as if he had heard her talking about last night over there, and I'm interpreting even his tone and the phonetics of what he's saying as he also knows what happened last night, and just know we're probably going to be revisiting this interview with you. But at no point does the guy, being this officer, Mitch Nunez, who showed up for an unconscious person and just walked into a quadruple homicide, now apparently hear her for the first time saying these details where Kaylee had screamed and ran downstairs, and he had just saw what he had seen when he was inside. He's talking to Dylan as if, you know, I heard you talking about last night, and, you know, we're going to revisit that, almost as if, don't say it right now. We need this to be about the unconscious person. We need this to be about lane B. And I don't know if everybody else is going to pick up on that, but I'm really trying my hardest to keep them in those 2 buckets of lane A, of what really happened, and lane B, the public story officially started at noon, and they need to stick to that public story no matter what. And so Dylan saying that could be the reason why Officer Nunez is using that soft-spoken tone with her about, we'll revisit that, we'll talk about it. And maybe that's why Officer Nunez is taking all of this time writing down this information and asking her a ton of questions about phone numbers and addresses and all of that stuff, instead of just what happened and trying to assess the fact again that he had just walked in on a quadruple stabbing.
All right. What do you remember seeing? What started?
I remember I was in my room and I was trying to go to bed, and I heard Kaylee, who ex-girlfriend, who also has a dog in her.
Real fast. Which one was your room?
Kaylee.
Which one is your room?
Oh,
what room are you in? You were in that room?
My room, not Xana's room. My room.
And your room is this one right here?
Next to stairs. That one is Xana's room.
The fact that that was redacted is very odd to me.
Okay.
All I heard was I heard her go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now because she's going upstairs. Also,
You heard who go upstairs?
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
And upstairs to the very top?
Yeah, that's where her room is.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up. I heard her scream, and she ran upstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here. and she screamed and just ran downstairs. And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared.
Where's she at? Yep. Where's she at? Where's she at?
She's at perfect. Yes. And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up. I heard her scream, and she ran downstairs because she saw someone. That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs. And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared.
Dylan has been very consistent about that part. Kaylee and Murphy went upstairs. Kaylee saw something, saw someone, and then proceeded to say, someone's here, and run downstairs. Dylan has said that in every interview, whether it's audio recorded or any of the transcripts that you can read. So this is where I'm going to end part 3, and part 4 will be the full theory as to how I think this all played out. But I want to begin with this. Dylan has been extremely consistent throughout all of her interviews saying that Kaylee and Murphy went upstairs. Kaylee then says someone's here or sees something and runs downstairs. Dylan gets up and locks her door because she was so scared. I don't believe that any of the perpetrators or perpetrator was inside yet. Because if somebody was to be up there in Kaylee's room or Maddie's room on the 3rd floor, there's really 2 options. They snuck in way earlier and they've been waiting. They scaled the balcony and came through Kaylee's sliding door. Because one of the questions a lot of people have had is, well, how would the perp have walked by them and gotten upstairs if Kaylee and Murphy were really dancing in the living room? Well, they must have scaled the balcony. Not necessarily. I don't believe that any of the perpetrators or perpetrator was inside yet. If we look at what Dylan said in this light, Kaylee and Murphy went upstairs, and then you refer back to a grand jury transcript where Dylan says that it sounds like Murphy's barking went outside. Well, I wonder if Kaylee and Murphy really did go up to her room and Murphy starts barking out her sliding glass door. We know that earlier Bethany had said that when Kaylee had let Murphy out, she saw a silhouette or a dark shadowy figure that she felt like was watching her. And so if Murphy's barking out that window, is it reasonable to think that Kaylee opened up the sliding door, Murphy's going outside onto the balcony, hence why Dylan could hear Murphy's bark sound like it goes outside, and Kaylee sees somebody and realizes danger. And could she be running down the stairs to try to lock the sliding door? And that timing, what if Xana was really in the kitchen at that point and sees her roommate come flying down the stairs, scared, trying to lock the door? Xana retreats back to her room with Ethan. If Kaylee does actually lock the sliding door, well, do they come in through the 1st floor stairwell and then go to Ethan and Xana's room first and then go up to Kaylee and Maddie's room? Does Kaylee retreat back to Maddie's room? Ultimately, what I think happened is that Kaylee realized that there was somebody outside and had ran down the stairs to try to lock the sliding door. Murphy had ran out onto the balcony when Kaylee opened the slider to see who was there. And that's why Dylan hears Murphy's bark starting to sound distant. That could also later explain why Dylan's Apple Watch shows logged flights of stairs climbed, and we hear around 4:49 a sliding door open and the dog stop barking. That's part 4. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.